Hey guys, and welcome back to Regretsit, Brexit Britain, a country where, under the leadership of Boris Johnson, crime is down 14%. Quite good, quite good. So long as you leave out fraud and various other crimes. But other than that, it's down 14%. I think fraud is one of the biggest crimes in the UK today, but let's not say anything about that. Also, welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you so much for all your messages you sent me, and a special thanks here to everybody who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with so much people that signed up, so thank you so much for that. I'll go through all your messages, I'll answer as many as I can, but I will like all your messages for definite. So today we start with West Ham star Kurt Zouma, right, who decided to film himself beating up his cat, and then someone posted it on social media. You think, how the hell, are footballers? Some of them are just so stupid. You think they've probably got their brains in their brains is probably in their foots, right? Because that's the only place their brain could be, is in their motherfucking feet, right? Seriously, right? And that's probably why they're so good at football. Right, because we've got footballers in prison. The Man United, one of the Man United players, I think he's in prison for at the moment on remand, right, for X amount of cases of rape. Do you know what I mean? He's been on remand for 6 or 7 or even 8 months. He's been on remand for. So he's probably going up for trial soon. Then you got Mason Greenwood as well. Do you know what I mean? He's just been released, right, under investigation. So he's out on bail for rape and for assault. And now you've got this fool, right, decided he's going to beat up his flipping cat. I really, right, I just can't take the people who mistreat vulnerable animals just for the sake of it. Do you know what I mean? And I said it there for the first time, right? Now, obviously the RSPCA, right, are going to be very interested in this, and the RSPCA will certainly bring charges against him, and I hope they go and remove these cats from him, because he shouldn't be able to keep any animals at all if he's going to treat them in that way. I haven't seen the video. It's not something that I would want to watch anyway. It's not really something that I would watch anyway, for definite. I'm not going to watch it, but it is on the front. It's on the front pages of the Sun this morning. So we move over to Jimmy Carr. Did his joke go too far? So it wasn't, for me, it wasn't really a joke. The joke's supposed to be funny, right? And when you're you see, I think that people have taken this all completely the wrong way, because you've got people out there saying, oh well, they're trying to ban it because it's the woke culture, and so, and because I had to tweet one of the radio presenters yesterday, because he was saying that it's woke, right? So I said, well, can you just tell me what is woke about the Holocaust? What part of the Holocaust was woke? That was my question. Obviously, they never returned my messages, because I asked them far too many direct questions, and it's kind of difficult to answer those type of questions, right? Especially when they know to themselves, well, you can't name me something, right, that is woke about what Jimmy Carr said. There's nothing woke about that, right? The way I see it, right, is if the joke was, if you put Jewish people where he had put Roma people and anybody else Hitler didn't like, if you had put them two in the places, just take over each other's place, right, the joke would have taken a whole, right, different meaning. And I say, well, why is that? Because what about the Romas? Why is it okay to laugh about hundreds of thousands of Romas and disabled people being murdered by the Nazis? Why is that okay? When did that become okay? Right? And now right, obviously now they've had a bit of time to think about it, so now they're trying to change it to say, well, no, we was just trying to highlight the fact that everyone forgets about the Romas. Say, well, the joke didn't sound like that to me. Right, the joke didn't sound like that to me. I think there's a joke that Jewish people actually use about the Holocaust, right, and where they say and at the end of it, they say to God, they say, and they're speaking to God. So they say, well, oh well, to get the joke, you had to be there. And obviously, the joke is about God not being there to help them, right? When they was getting when they were getting put in gas chambers. So that's what the joke is about God, right? Now, this what Jimmy Carr said, right? For me, was just like, I just, the first thing I'm thinking was, well, that joke told you the other way around. Right, and the world takes a complete different attitude towards it. But I don't see how that works. Why haven't they taken that attitude towards the joke anyway? Because it's not funny on the Roma community. It's not funny. It's not funny at all. Yeah, because all you're doing, right, is you are playing to those people's racism. You heard the crowd of people that was laughing and whooping and whistling, right? Because they found somehow they found it funny. I don't know if it was nervous laugh or if it was a shock value laugh, but the fact is they was laughing. Do you know what I mean? And that I found just as disgusting as the joke itself. So it's not a woke culture. People want to cancel this fool. It's got nothing to do with it. It's just that joke has just gone. It's just gone way too far. Just way too far. And that is it. There's got to be a limit, right? To this type of thing, right? We can't have people just thinking, it's okay to joke about the death of thousands of people, because it's not. It's not okay to joke about that at all. It's just not. It's not funny. Right. So we're still waiting to see what Russia are going to do. Right. But I think already, Putin has already got exactly what he wanted, because Putin has got Russia onto the world stage. Right. The Russian people, the poor Russian people, are looking now and saying, yeah, well, you know what, this is Russia, the mother Russia. We're strong, and that's the reason why the world. That's the reason why the world wants to come after us. All these countries around the world threatening us because we're Mother Russia, and we're a big player. And that's what Putin wanted. Now, but the only thing is now, Putin has been. He's in China at the moment, and he's got the backing of the Chinese, right? So we don't know where things are going to go from there. But right, obviously the Americans, right, are looking to just smash Putin economically. They will, because they're already talking about, we're going to cancel Nord Stream 2, right? If you was to invade, then we'll make sure that happens. And that reluctantly, they've managed to get the Germans around to that position. So now the Germans, right. At first they were saying, but now they're saying, well, they're on board with the Americans, right? So, right, for us, it will end up, if he does do that, right, and fuel costs will rocket up even more. Even though the Shell a couple of days ago put in profits of 20 billion. I don't know if it was dollars or pounds, but whatever it is one hell of a lot of money, right? So they put in those, and that's first quarter profits as well, right? But that's for the first four. That's for the first 4 months, right? So first quarter profits, right? So they put in 20 billion in profits, right? And if you just notice, right, our fuel costs, right, are still going to be rocketing up, and these people are putting in 20 billion pounds worth of profits. 20 billion. Right? And so yeah, okay, well, if that's that, right, is because, right, our governments, right, have sold off all of our shit. It's all gone. Right? So they can't be like the French and say, you know what, you can't charge more than 4%. Right? No more increase than 4%. That's it. Right. So as I said, economically, for the Russians, it will completely destroy Russia. Just completely destroy them economically. I'm quite sure that Putin doesn't really need that, because Putin, he wants to keep the people poor, right? But whether or not, he can make their circumstances get even worse, right? While, right, sending body bags back to the babushkas. I'm not really sure whether or not the Russian people can go that far. Do you know what I mean? I think like the what looks like a threat and all that type of thing, I think can work very well for Putin. But if he does actually invade, right, then I think things are going to work out. It work out bad for all of us, but I think much more so for the Russian people, much more so for the Russian people. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. I don't know if you saw Sir Keir Starmer, right, was attacked last night outside the House of Parliament, and all because Boris Johnson, right, described him as a man who let Jimmy Savile off, right? Even though the authorities knew about Jimmy Savile from like the 70s, right? And what they're talking about right now, is an hour, 1 hour interview that the police done with Jimmy Savile, 1 hour. All the things that Jimmy Savile's been accused of, right? Do you think they could get through that in an hour? Oh, just think of all the things that he's been accused of. Do you think they could get through all of that in 1 hour? Right? And then they're saying, well, that should have went to Keir Starmer. That should have went to Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer said, well, that didn't come across my desk. That the hour-long interview with Jimmy Savile didn't come across my desk. Right? An hour-long interview. Right. Jimmy Savile they spoke about some of the most horrendous crimes, but they've got an hour-long interview. I'm saying, okay. But all of this, is down to Boris Johnson, what Boris Johnson has done. And they're saying now he should go out and apologise. I said, well, the damage is already done. The damage is done. It's finished. But when you watch the video, right, of what happened to Keir Starmer, look out, right, for the policeman who pushes one guy and two people fall down. I was cracking up with laughter because the police was overly aggressive as well. But then the scene was kind of crazy. But I'm sure that Keir Starmer right now, is knowing how Jeremy Corbyn was feeling over the last few years. I don't know if you know Gitto Harry, has described Boris Johnson as not a complete clown. Okay. Imagine that. He's just gone back to work for Boris Johnson, and that's the first thing you come with. Well, he's not a complete clown. Right. Him and Boris, when him and Boris Johnson met up to decide they're going to start working again together, right, they was in the office together singing the Gloria Gaynor song, "I Will Survive." And so, two men in a room by themselves singing Gloria Gaynor. Is there not something a little bit I don't know about that? It's very strange to me, right? But Gito Harry's back, and obviously Boris Johnson thinks that he's going to be able to help him with the nonsense that Boris Johnson wants to continue doing. Let's talk about some Brexit quickly, right? And a Labour MP, right, has been suspended from the House of Commons pub, right, after a foul-mouthed tirade about Brexit. You see, so behind the scenes, it looks like that there's a lot of arguments still going on. Must be saying to them, listen, you guys, you fucked the country up, right? So there must be a lot of that going on behind the scenes. So MP Neil Coyle, right, was thrown out of the pub, the pub where you can smoke. That's the only pub in the country where you can smoke. But he had his ass thrown out of there, right, because he was too rude and too fast to say disgusting things about Brexit, right, and how badly Brexit is going. Because I'm quite sure he wasn't shouting out the things of how well it's going, because I don't think it's going too well. In fact, I know it's not going very well, because while I was driving through Dover, right, a few days ago. Right, and I managed to see for myself the absolute devastation of what's going on down there. Absolute devastation, right? And peers are moving, so that's the Lords. They're moving to stop money laundering at these new Freeports. So I say to them, good luck with that, because Freeports are set up for money laundering. That's a Brexit benefit for for all of the upper classes. Because they'll be able to launder all sorts of artwork, money, drugs, all these type of things could just flow through your free ports, right? But that's the reason why. This is the reason why they had to convince you, right, to vote, right, against your own interest, because they needed you to do that, right? Because There was new EU laws, yeah, about taxes and all those type of things, and all those rich people there, they couldn't really, especially, you're talking about people with major wealth, right? They couldn't deal with all of that coming in, right? So they had to convince you, right, that it was good to punch yourself in the eye socket, right, and then take a pencil and then stick that in the other eye. Right, that's what they had to convince you to do. Right, and they knew they could do that because you lot is a damn lot of motherfucking racist fools, and that's what they done to you. Right, look at the state of the country now. How is Brexit going? Anyway, guys, this is By Any Means Necessary. I'm the MC John Ribbs. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.